Something big is happening in California right now. The state is at a major crossroads. On one hand, its political world feels like it's in total chaos. But on the other hand, all these new, exciting paths to prosperity are popping up. So today, we're going to dive into the forces that are really shaping the future of the Golden State.
The biggest question hanging over everything, of course, is this: who is going to be the next governor? And honestly, the answer is anyone's guess. And to get a sense of just how unusual this moment is, just think about this. The Democratic Party, which has dominated California politics for ages, couldn't even rally behind a single candidate at their last state convention. That breaks a tradition that's held for more than half a century. It's a huge sign that this race is completely wide open. So let's break down what this actually looks like on the ground. This election is, well, it's a race without a script. And that level of uncertainty is shaking up everything.
Okay, just look at these numbers. The support is totally fractured. Polling shows Republican commentator Steve Hilton with a tiny lead, but get this, a staggering 21% of voters haven't made up their minds yet. And with all the candidates packed so tightly together, nobody has a clear shot at winning. It is anybody's game.
And here's the system that makes it all so unpredictable. In California, they have what's called a top two primary. It means party doesn't matter on the first ballot. Everyone's on there together, and only the top two people move on to the general election. With the Democratic vote split so many different ways, there's a very real chance that two Republicans could be the ones left standing. But this race isn't just about political personalities. It's about the real-world pressures that Californians are dealing with every single day. The candidate who can actually speak to these core issues, housing, homelessness, the crazy cost of living, and creating real economic opportunity, that's who's going to have the inside track. And the tension is so high, it's boiling over within the parties themselves. You've got former DA Pamela Price just blasting Democratic candidate Eric Swalwell, basically calling him a hypocrite. This isn't just a political disagreement, it's personal, and it shows you just how deep the fractures in this campaign really are.
But here's the thing. While the political world is in turmoil, something else is going on. Away from all the campaign drama, everyday Californians are building their own new paths to empowerment. They're finding their own solutions to the very problems the politicians are just debating.
And one of those paths is a return to the skilled trades. For decades, the message was always that a four-year degree was the only way to succeed. But now, with student debt soaring and people questioning that whole model, the story is changing. As Louis J. King says, the best-kept secret is finally out. And the demand is just massive. The U.S. needs 500,000 new skilled trade workers every single year. We're talking about well-paying jobs in fields like construction and electrical work, jobs that are resistant to recessions and can't be outsourced or easily replaced by AI. It's an incredible opportunity for people to build a great career. Another path is being carved out in education. John Peavy has this great way of putting it. He imagines a future where learning isn't a one-size-fits-all thing. Instead, with the help of AI, it becomes more like Netflix, a personalized, on-demand experience that's tailored exactly to what each student needs. So on one side, you've got the old model, right? Everybody learns the same thing at the same time. But on the other side is this new vision, a system that actually adapts to how you learn, what you might have missed, and even what's happening in your life outside of the classroom. This is what true personalization is all about. And this push for real, proactive change, it's not just happening in the worlds of work and school. All across the state, advocates and lawmakers are pushing ahead on so many different fronts, raising their voices to shape what California becomes. I mean, the energy is just everywhere. You've got the state Senate reaffirming its commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. There's a new bipartisan children's caucus forming to put kids' policies first. And Governor Newsom just approved a huge emergency loan to keep Bay Area transit running. These aren't just minor headlines. These are real, tangible actions that are shaping daily life. To really understand this moment of change, it helps to see it as part of a much longer story. A legacy of action that has always been at the heart of the fight for a better California. And recently, the state and the entire nation paused to remember one of the true giants of that fight. The passing of Reverend Jesse Jackson really connects the struggles we see today for justice and opportunity to a deep, powerful history.
His life was just a timeline of non-stop advocacy. In the 60s, he was appointed by Dr. King to lead Operation Breadbasket, getting jobs for black workers. In the 70s, he founded Operation Push. In the 80s, he broke barriers with his historic presidential campaigns. And even in the 2000s, he was right there with laid-off Enron workers. He always understood that you can't separate the fight for civil rights from the fight for economic justice.
Nancy Pelosi recalled this iconic line from his 1984 speech in San Francisco. It just perfectly captures his whole vision of an inclusive America, a rainbow coalition where every single person has a place and is seen as precious. And that's a message that really resonates today.
And we'll leave you with this idea, which was a core principle of Reverend Jackson's entire life's work. The demand isn't for a handout, but for a level playing field. It's a call not for charity, but for parity, for true equality of opportunity. And as California stands at this crossroads, that really is the ultimate question. How will it answer that call?